Councillor Hatfield.
Welcome, Mitch.
And Councillor Reese is here as well.
Welcome, Robert. We'll be starting briefly.
I got you on YouTube here.
Okay. It's 6:30. I'd like to call the meeting to order. All of council is present. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest? I'd like to call the meeting to order. All of council is present. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest? All of present. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest? Hearing none, we will move on. I just want to actually double check if we have staff present. Corey, are you on the line?
Yes, I am.
Okay, move on. Thanks, Corey. We have staff present. Corey, are you on the line?
Ron, can I ask you something?
Yes.
I'm getting 2 recordings.
Let's see if it's getting, we've just made an adjustment. Hopefully it'll work a little better. We were getting feedback here as well. There is a bit of a delay in what you may be seeing on YouTube.
Okay, I'm not on YouTube.
Okay.
I'm just on the.
Well, it's better now. Are you hearing us from here? Better?
Much better.
Okay, I think we've made the appropriate changes. So I'd like a mover to approve the agenda.
Got it here, Bill.
That's okay, moved by Councillor Chasson. We accept the agenda. All in favor, Councillor Chasson,
Aye.
Councillor Hatfield,
Yes.
Councillor Reese,
Yes.
and Councillor Tate.
Yes.
Thank you. The agenda is approved. There are no delegations or presentations. Adoption of minutes from the corp planning meetings of February 13th and March 17th. Could I have a mover, please?
I'll move it.
Moved by Councillor Hatfield. Do you approve, Councillor Chasson?
I do, yes.
Councillor Hatfield? Do you accept?
Yes.
Councillor Reese?
Yes.
Thank you. And Councillor Tate?
Yes.
Okay, those minutes are adopted and approved. No business arising out of the previous business meeting. New business 7.1. We have a memorandum from Corey. If you recall, at our last corporate meeting, Corey talked about the Wawa water treatment plant with the putting the addition of alum in the plant. There were a number of questions. So Corey has since prepared a memorandum for us on this. So first I'll ask Corey. Corey, did you want to speak first to your memo?
Yeah. So this memo, as mentioned, it takes a presentation that was done by Chris Crescent at Crescent Engineering main things from the alum review and the THM study, which, of course, in addition to what Chris President presented, is that the alum was a proven method to work to reduce HAAs plus reduce THM. In addition, it also reduced our aluminum residual in the water. In addition to the increase, if we wanted to run with alum, we were talking about only running an alum coagulant from June till September, October perhaps, just half the year we see our higher hits with THM. And the cost to supply the additive alum for the system would be an annual cost of approximately $13,700 per year. Of course, based on increases or manufacturers, etc., this can fluctuate up or down depending on the cost per kilogram of alum. But in addition to that, there's some other work required from PAL to set this up, and all of that additional items from them, as far as like micro scrubbers and things to do with setting up the system for backwashes, etc., tweaking it a bit, was all through the THM capital project. So that was already approved budget and funded by CWWF. So the only increase to the operating budget that I'd be requesting this year to move forward with alum as a coagulant to reduce THMs and HAAs in the water supply would be the $15,000 annual operating budget increase. And as time proceeds forward, there'll be budgets for capital projects, et cetera, related to other things such as membrane filtrations themselves to be replaced in the future, but that'll come at a different time.
Thank you, Corey. Going to give councillors an opportunity to ask any questions. Councillor Chason, do you have any questions?
Yeah, just one for Corey. Corey, you mentioned the backwash. And the backwash, where is that backwash going into?
So the backwash, first off, the backwash is on a scheduled maintenance. So each of the three skids, the filters running, once they hit so many minutes of running, then the backwash will occur. So it pushes water back through the membrane filtration system, backwards, of course, just to get rid of any debris that may be stuck to the microfiltration. And then that water and whatever debris that we call the backwash goes into the sewer system to be treated at the sewage treatment plant.
Okay, thanks a lot, Corey.
Thank you. Councillor Hatfield, do you have any questions for Corey?
Corey, like if I'm to understand what you're asking for is we don't need the filters changed right away, but we do need $50,000 every year for how long?
We would require an annual increase of $15,000 for the alum product. Length would depend on changes in the water quality. If perhaps we see a reduction in THM alone just based on the raw water, maybe we don't need to use alum in the future. Maybe there's some operational changes done in the next 5 or 10 years where we change the system to, for example, a smaller, like a nano filtration membrane, which is a smaller fiber and captures any organics, etc. So then there would be no need for the coagulant, but those are all items and costs that can run up into millions. So I'm not considering those today. I am just looking for the approval to move forward. Council accepts the additional alum as a coagulant and the $15,000 increase annually for the supply of alum. And then I can get the final written application to the ministry.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Reese, do you have a question?
No, nothing at this time. They were already answered. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Tate?
Yes, I have one question, Corey.
I see that further down in our agenda, we're looking at different engineering services, and we're going to keep pressing for 1 year. Is this project going to be finished within the 1 year timeline that we're going to keep pressing on just for this part?
Yeah, so this project itself is slightly different because it's through capital to begin with. However, because of everything going on with the COVID-19 and the delay in finalizing some of the parts that we need, as well as Paul Caver from New York, so they obviously aren't going to come and travel to Waller right now. So the funding itself through CWWF was extended past the March 31st, 2020 deadline, and they didn't put a date as to how far they're going to extend it, but it's estimated, from my understanding, most likely to August or September 2020. So we will carry on when time permits to finalize what we need to finalize and close out this project.
So yeah, so we're going to keep pressing until this is completed then.
Yes,
The water part, the water testing.
correct, yeah.
Okay,
Thank you,
thanks.
Councillor Tate. Thank you, Corey. I understand that this will be coming back to council on April 21st. We'll move to 7.2, COVID-19 update, and also the memo confirming the waiver of interest charges.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. And in terms of a COVID-19 update for the municipality, we're taking all steps as a staff to ensure that our workers are kept healthy and following all Algoma health protocols. We continue to meet weekly with the Algoma health team to review any provincial declarations or mandates being put forward. We are also meeting regularly with our community agencies and social service agencies to provide support where possible. For example, our Wawa Food Bank has received a rather large donation of food that will come this week, and the arena is going to act as the host for this food in the curling rink. We continue to share information with all our agencies of actions taken to date regarding the emergency declaration made by Wawa and the province. As one of the items that I had asked council to approve previously was to provide me with the delegated authority to provide some short-term financial relief to the community where possible. And tonight on my report regarding the confirmation of the waiver of interest charges, I have a report for council to review where we are asking council to verify and authorize that the municipality approves the waiving of property tax interest and penalty charges up until June 30th, 2020. This would apply to the current year's taxes and only include the next interim tax installment, which is due on April 30th. This measure does not apply to any property accounts currently in tax arrears. Secondly, we're asking council to authorize the waiving of interest and penalty on all water and sewer bills until June 30th. The water and sewer bills will cover the period January 1st to April 30th and will be due on May 29th. So this would provide an additional 30 days for ratepayers to make payments without additional fees being added. The next water and sewer bills would be issued in September 2020 and January 2021, each covering a 4-month period. And should we require additional waivers, staff would bring a report to council in the future on those matters. We would also ask council to approve the waiving of interest on all accounts receivable up until June 30th. That we would advise council that all municipal tax registrations that were scheduled to begin at the end of March, and due to COVID-19 and a number of our partners putting on hold any tax processes from moving forward, that they be delayed until a future date to be determined by the CAO treasurer as permitted under existing policy. And finally, that the pre-authorized payments that we have with many of our ratepayers in the community to make monthly payments, that these measures would not impact those pre-authorized payment plans. However, residents be given the opportunity to call the finance department if they find themselves in a situation that they are not able to make those payments. And based on the finance department's approval, we would be permitted to alter any existing plan required. So all measures above would begin on April 1st. And so the approving bylaws and motions I'm putting forward to council tonight would be retroactive to April 1st. For council's information, that the measures that I've outlined above are going to cost the municipality roughly lost revenue in the amount of $5,600 per month, or up until July 1st, approximately $17,000. It is difficult for staff to assess the exact financial impact of these measures, and we are tracking the expenses and loss of revenue associated with the COVID-19 pandemic, and will provide council a full summary at a later date. Offering the relief of penalties and interest on unpaid accounts for the long term could have a significant impact to the municipality. And so to maintain positive cash flow at this time, we're not recommending any further financial programs in the near future. So the policies to be impacted would be policy FT017, our tax billing and collection policy, the water supply bylaw 328420, and our schedule of fees and services. So the bylaw and motion put forward to council tonight would add a clause in each policy impacted that would basically state that during the COVID-19 pandemic and declared provincial emergency, late payment and interest charges would not be applied until July 1st.
Thank you. I'll go through each councillor for questions. Councillor Chasson, do you have any questions?
Not at this time, no.
Thank you. Councillor Hatfield,
Yes, I do, Ron.
go ahead.
Maury, can you tell me what made you decide, or is it something everybody's doing with giving everybody a break on interest and all that?
Yes, Councillor Hatfield, this is a common practice that most municipalities have implemented for their ratepayers. As we looked over our financial situation and the number of businesses and residents impacted by layoffs or closure of businesses, we put this forward to council to approve, because we believe that the short-term financial programs being offered provide some relief to our ratepayers that is needed at this time. But this is actually common for most municipalities to implement these types of programs.
Thank you.
Councillor Reese, do you have a question?
No, just a comment. I wanted to say thank you to Maury for doing this for our citizens. I think it's a great thing for them right now.
Thanks, Robert. Councillor Tate?
I have no questions. I'd just like to echo the same comment that Robert just made.
Thank you. This will be coming back in a regular meeting, item 9.1 this evening for resolution for approving this. Okay, so moving to 7.3, CEO sent out a report regarding the postponement of the implementation of our new water meter rates. We'll ask her to just comment on that, and then we'll take any questions.
Thank you. The report that I provided council was with respect to the CAO's recommendation that the municipality postpone the implementation of the new water and sewer rates, which were to become effective on May 1st, and approve a delay to the new rates being implemented to the date of September 1st, 2020. The water and sewer rates are set out in the schedule of fees approved by council that was passed on March 17th. As a result, the the schedule fees would have to be amended, and council would have to approve the CAO's recommendation, which would be put forward in a motion form to the April 21st meeting. The rationale for that difficult decision is based on COVID-19 impacts and the inability for municipal employees to implement a number of changes that are required to fully implement the new water and sewer rate billings based on water meter readings. Some of those challenges we faced is we can't have our staff attend to residents' homes and businesses since we must practice physical distancing. So it makes it very difficult for us to make some changes to water meters, to check into potential leaking. And it's not fair that we would implement these rates while some people may not have proper meter readings. In addition, the software program that we are using to bill ratepayers, the module that is required for our billing system is not ready. There's been a delay from our provider, and that program will not likely be ready until September. I also believe that given the financial relief that council would like to provide to its citizens, that this is one way to provide relief, as some ratepayers may not be ready for the changes to come, and some ratepayers will be experiencing some larger increases to their water and sewer bills. And so staff has not had sufficient time to communicate and educate the public, as we had set out to council in February, of the changes to come. So due to current workload, we're not able to hold public meetings and really do a great job on communicating the changes. So given those options, I'm recommending that council delay the implementation of the new water and sewer rates for 4 months until September 1st. As a result, should council accept the recommendation, residents would be billed on the old rates for the period January 1st, 2020 to August 30th, 2020.
Thank you, Murray. Any questions, Councillor Chasson?
No, I'm good with that. Thank you, Murray.
Thank you. Councillor Hatfield?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay, Councillor Reese?
No, nothing at this time. Thank you.
Councillor Tate?
No questions. Thank you.
Thank you. This will be coming up in our regular meeting shortly. Thank you. 7.4, we have a report regarding the engineering consulting services. Corey, would you like to comment on your report prior to taking any questions?
Yeah, so the report is just based on the RFP for consulting services. I know we had previously discussed in previous meetings that I was creating an RFP to put out for engineering services. The engineer of record for the municipality for the past 10 plus years has been Crescent Engineering, as well as prior and with Crescent and prior to Shelby Environmental. Common, you see that every 5 years or every 3 years, depending on how long the agreements are, they're reissued for consulting services. And these services provide some additional aids to the municipality when it comes to annual monitoring reports, surveying, geotechnical, material testing, building reviews, structure reviews, road studies, light studies, water and sewer, and just in general, the aid to staff with any type of engineering work throughout the municipality. Now, in addition, on any type of project which would exceed the dollar amount in our tendering policy, for example, right now it's clear that anything in excess of $50,000 is to be tendered. So we would go out for an RFP for an engineer service for that specific project. But this is just all those costs under the $50,000 that we would need on an annual basis. So to break down some of those financial impacts for my department specifically, the Infrastructure Services Department has about a $15,000 budget, and this is for road studies, information resources, land drainage and structure reviews, and light studies and surveys. Bridge and culvert inspections. Obviously, the water sewer department is a large portion of the budget because of plant inspections, audits, third-party audits, DWQMS, which is our drinking water quality management standard implementation, and it's audited every year. And so we have the cemetery, which we're currently working on the expansion, and the landfill, which involves annual monitoring report, closure report, and our environmental compliance approval. Now, given the requirements for the engineering services, when we put out the tender, the main areas of review were the experience and qualifications, the approach of their work, the quality of the work, their plans and their type of consultant activities throughout the project, how they manage it, how they control it, and timeline, schedule, and then of course budget factored in, as well as additional services such as material testing, public information sessions, surveys, environmental testing. We received 8 proposals, however, 1 was rejected, so 7 were received and reviewed by 3 management staff. Based on the review of all the areas, and I mean, all the engineering firms are qualified to service the municipality on all levels of areas, which is why we break it down in depth through several categories, as I previously mentioned: experience, budget, etc., to get the best value for the municipality, given the situation we're in and the services that we require. And based on the review that was conducted, Pynchon Ltd. was awarded the highest overall score for the review. So I am recommending that we enter into a 3-year agreement with Pynchon and their sub-consultant, which was STEM Engineering, to provide the annual consulting services for 3 years with an option to extend to 5 years upon review. Though I am requesting that the critical infrastructure, water and sewer, remaining with Crescent Engineering for a 1-year term with an option to extend to a 2-year term based on a few factors. Obviously, as mentioned, Crescent Engineering has been of service to the municipality for quite a while. And in the water sector specifically, Chris Crescent from Crescent Engineering was the highest through the reference and professional review of all of them related to this, related to the water and sewer. In addition to that, Crescent Engineering is listed, specifically Chris Crescent is listed as our third party for the DWQMS, which means if anything was to happen where we lose our operators or something, for example, there's a strike union, etc., Crescent Engineering and Chris Crescent can operate that plant for up to 6 months. In addition to that, given everything going on right now, I didn't feel comfortable doing a drastic changeover on water and sewer because of how significant it is to the municipality, and to all the changes and implementation is required to do so, which are challenging to do at the moment. Not only because of the COVID, just time and resources available. And in addition, I think it's quite known that our water quality, our audit, and our ministry audits and reviews of the system have been exceptional over the course of the time that Crescent has been involved. So I wanted to extend them just for the water sewer section and remain with them as the engineer on record for that section.
Thank you, Corey. Just would like to comment before I open it up to questions. The report reflects the results of the scores from the various applications. Last year, we did have a report that provided more scoring information, but this was not our normal practice. So if any of the councillors wish to receive more information about individuals' scores, we'd ask you to call specifically to the CAO, and she will have that information for you. If there are other questions pertaining to the report, we'll start with Councillor Chasson. Do you have any questions?
No, not at this time. I'll leave it with Maury.
Thank you. Councillor Hatfield?
I was just wondering if you got any kind of just a quick explanation, like who is Pynchon, where are they from, how long have they been an engineering company?
Corey, I'll ask you to respond to that, please.
So, Pynchon Engineering, I know they're out of the Sioux, and I believe they're under Bay as well. They have been an engineering firm for quite a while. They have some, for example, our auditor, who is for Sci Global. He is one of their environmental auditors as well. They have a diverse staff and are very, very high in the environmental background, such as landfills, for example. And they have several professional engineers on staff. In addition to their environmental background, diverse background, they added a sub-consultant, which is STEM Engineering, who kind of filled in the pieces on the other side, which was the structures, electrical, traffic studies, etc. So we're getting two engineering firms, but it's through Pynchon.
Thank you, Corey. Councillor Hatfield, do you have any further questions?
No, that's good. I just wanted to know where they're from, that I'll do some reading on them. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Reese?
No, that was the question I had as well. The same one.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Tate?
Yeah, Corey, this is not directly related to this engineering services, but does this impact our connecting link at all?
No, the Connecting Link was a project. So I've mentioned all projects that are over the dollar value in our tendering policy will be tendered for.
And is our connecting link still on track?
Yes, it is.
Perfect, thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Tate. Thank you, Corey.
Thank you.
There's no in camera this evening. Our next meeting date will be Tuesday, April the 21st. And if I could have a mover, we'll adjourn at 7:03.
Bravo, move that.
Moved by Councillor Reese. All in favor, Councillor Chasson,
Yes?
Councillor Hatfield,
Yes.
Councillor Reese,
Yes.
Councillor Tate.
Yes.
Thank you. Our meeting is adjourned. We'll move directly into our regular council meeting. Call the meeting to order, 7:04. And we have all four councillors present. The disclosure of pecuniary interests. If you have any, please make it known. Hearing nothing, I'll move on to approval of the agenda. I need a mover and a seconder. Volunteers, please.
No?
Moved by Councillor Chasson, seconded by
Councillor Tate?
Councillor Tate. Thank you. Read the resolution, please. Clerk.
Moved by Councillor Chasson, seconded by Councillor Tate, resolved that the agenda for the regular meeting of council scheduled for Tuesday, April 7th, 2020 be approved as presented.
Do you approve, Councillor Chasson?
Yes?
Councillor Hatfield?
Yes, I do.
Councillor Reese?
Yeah.
Councillor Tate?
Yes.
Thank you. The agenda is approved. There are no delegations or presentations, announcements, and giving of notice as listed.
One announcement, Mr. Mayor Rhodey, if I may.
You certainly may.
I just wanted to wait till the regular meeting, but just want to comment on all the work that the mayor and your staff, Maury, and a whole bunch of them has been doing with this COVID-19. Very impressed with what's going on in town and all the work that that you guys have been putting in there. Just to add to Mr. Reese's comments, thank you very much from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Councillor Chason. I certainly know that staff is working very hard, as are many of our businesses and organizations throughout our community. It's a very challenging time, and people are certainly working very hard and looking out for the citizens of our community.
Certainly are. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Moving to item 6, adoption of minutes. I need a mover and a seconder. Can I have a mover, please?
I'll move, Rob.
Councillor Hatfield, a seconder.
Bill.
Robert, well,
I'll
Hey, take
Councillor Reese.
The following minutes of the meeting of council be adopted as presented. Minutes of a special meeting of council held on Monday, March 16, 2020, as contained on pages 1 through 3 of the minute book. B, minutes of a regular meeting of council held on Tuesday, March 17, 2020, as contained on pages 1 through 10, inclusive of the minute book. And C, minutes of a special meeting of council held on Monday, March 30, 2020, as contained on pages 1 to 4, inclusive of the minute book.
Thank you. Councillor Chason, do you approve?
I do, yes.
Councillor Hatfield?
Yes,
Councillor Reese?
yes,
Councillor Tate?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion is approved. We don't have a consent agenda. Staff reports 8.1, resolution to approve the postponement of the implementation of new water and sewer rates. So can I have a mover, please?
Councillor Tate.
Councillor Tate moves. A seconder, please.
Councillor Chasson.
Councillor Chason, can we have the resolution?
Moved by Councillor Tate, seconded by Councillor Chason, resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the Municipality of Wawa does hereby receive staff report CAO 2020-01, postpone implementation of water and sewer rates, a copy of which is attached here too.
You approve. Councillor Chason,
Yes.
Councillor Hatfield,
yes,
Councillor Reese,
yes,
and Councillor Tate.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion is carried. Item number 9, business arising out of previous meeting, COVID-19 update waiver of interest charges. We have a resolution. Can I have a mover, please?
Robert, well,
Moved by Councillor Reese, seconded by
Councillor Hatfield,
Councillor Hatfield. Have the resolution, please.
Moved by Councillor Reese, seconded by Councillor Hatfield, resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the Municipality of Wawa does hereby approve the actions of the CAO treasurer taken to provide financial relief to ratepayers as set out in the attached memo. That council approved the required amendments to bylaw numbers 3274-20 and 3284-20 retroactive to April 1st, 2020 to authorize the recommended forms of financial relief during the COVID-19 pandemic and provincial declared emergency.
Thank you. Do you approve? Councillor Chason,
Yes, I do.
Councillor Hatfield,
yes, I do.
Councillor Reese,
yes, I do.
Councillor Tate.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Thank you. Number 10, new business. 10.1, approve postponement of implementation of the new water and sewer rates. We have a resolution. Can I have a mover, please?
Go ahead, Tate.
Okay, moved by Councillor Tate, seconder.
Councillor Hatfield,
Councillor Hatfield, thank you. Can I read the resolution, please?
Moved by Councillor Tate, seconded by Councillor Hatfield, resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the Municipality of Wawa does hereby accept staff recommendation as contained in report CAO 2020-01 regarding the postponement of the water and sewer rates, which were to come into effect on May 1st, 2020, and approve a delay in the new rates being implemented on September 1st, 2020. The water and sewer rates as set out in the schedule of fees approved by Council on March 17, 2020. It is understood that the existing water and sewer rates effective January 1 to April 30, 2020, as included in the schedule of fees approved by bylaw number 3287-20, would be extended to be in full force until August 31st, 2020. And be it further resolved that the council does hereby approve the CAO's recommendation to implement the implementation dates as set out in the schedule of fees in bylaw 3287-20.
There aren't any further questions. I will call the question. Councillor Chason, do you approve?
Yes, I do.
Councillor Hatfield,
Yes.
Councillor Reese,
Yeah.
Councillor Tate.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion is carried. Item 11, notice of motion. None. Moving to item 12, the bylaws. I need a mover.
Bill?
Councillor Chason, seconded by Councillor Reese, I heard.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you. We'll read the resolution.
Moved by Councillor Chason, seconded by Councillor Reese. Resolved that the following bylaws be introduced and read a first, second, and third time and finally passed, and that the mayor and clerk do sign and seal the same. Any rule of this council to the contrary notwithstanding. Bylaw number 3294-20, to authorize the corporation of the municipality of Wawa to enter into an agreement with Her Majesty the Queen and Right of Ontario as represented by the Minister of Transportation regarding funding under the dedicated gas tax funds and the public transportation program. Bylaw number 3295-20, to confirm the proceedings of council at its meeting held on the 16th day of March 2020, the 20th day of March 2020, and the 7th day of April 2020. Bylaw number 3296-20, to adopt Municipality of Wawa policy number FT004, accounts receivable write-offs. Bylaw number 3297-20, to amend various bylaws for the collection of taxes, water supply, and amend policy number FT017 for the period of the declared emergency, COVID-19.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Seeing
From
none?
here.
Yes? Okay, we'll call the question then. Councillor Chason,
Yes.
Councillor Hatfield,
Yes.
Councillor Reese,
Yes.
Councillor Tate.
Yes.
The motion is carried. Thank you. We don't have a closed session. There are no business arising from the closed session. Our next meeting is Tuesday, April 21st. We will move to adjourn at 7:12. Could I have a mover?
Go for
I'll
it.
move.
We just need the one, and that was Councillor Chason. Councillor Chason. Those in favor, Councillor Chason,
Yes.
Councillor Hatfield,
Yes.
Councillor Reese,
Yeah.
and Councillor Tate.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion is carried. Our meeting is closed. Thank you very much. We'll stay safe, and we meet again on April the 21st. Thank you.
Good night, all.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.